Hi guys, it's Rachel and welcome back to my channel. I noticed that many of you have commented on my English speaking abilities, and with that, I'm flattered. This led me to ponder on my experiences, and it made me realize how big of a deal English is in helping me assimilate and immigrate to Canada. For those that don't know, Canada has two official languages, which are English and French. However, I'll only be focusing on English for this video. So in this video, I'll try to answer the question, does English matter for PR? To do so, I will discuss the usefulness of English in Canadian life, the importance of English in your immigration goals, and lastly cap off this video by giving you guys some helpful tips to improve your English. So without further ado, let's begin. Let's start off with my first point, which is how useful English is in your day-to-day life here in Canada. English is an important tool to help you communicate with people in various situations. In school, where you will meet many people from diverse backgrounds who speak a common language. At work, where answering phone calls or replying to emails or meeting with coworkers. In casual situations such as meeting new friends or someone that is more than just a friend. Or even in dire situations such as explaining a medical emergency to a doctor or a 911 operator. In all of these situations, you need to communicate in English. Basically, English is a vital component to everyday life here in Canada, from simple tasks to life-threatening situations. Moving on, let's now talk about the importance of English in your immigration goals. To be more specific, how it relates to international students wishing to study, work, and eventually immigrate to Canada. There are two types of English tests, one for academic purposes and one for immigration purposes. As an example, I had to take an IELTS academic test in order to apply for a study permit to study here in Canada, and later on I had to take an IELTS general test in order to apply for immigration under the Express Entry program. So let's dive deeper into this discussion. First off, English is a prerequisite for admission to most schools here in Canada. Most schools require proof of English proficiency by providing test results from recognized institutions that administer English tests such as IELTS, CELPIP, TOEFL, Duolingo, and the like. Schools require this as a safeguard measure to reassure the school that you will be able to understand their curriculum and adjust well to its academic setting. Secondly, English is necessary to apply for skilled jobs after graduation here in Canada. Landing a skilled job is needed, especially if you want to qualify for Canadian Experience class under the Express Entry program. You need English to build a strong resume and cover letter. You need it to network at social events, answer interview questions, and even negotiate your salary. Third and lastly, for those with long-term goals to stay in Canada as a permanent resident, English can easily gain you massive points under the Express Entry program. To explain further, let's take a look at the top 5 contributors to your CRS score as a single applicant. First, we have PNP nomination, which gets you 600 points. Second is arranged employment in a NOC 00 or a senior management role, which gets you a maximum of 200 points. Third is level of education, specifically a PhD, which can get you a maximum of 150 points. Then comes English, where you can get a maximum of 136 points. And lastly, there's age, where you can get a maximum of 110 points if you apply for Express Entry anywhere between 20 to 29 years old. From these 5 factors, some of them are really difficult or lengthy to obtain, such as getting a PNP nomination, landing a senior management position, or getting a PhD. Moreover, among the 5, there are 3 that you have little control over and 2 that you can. The 3 factors that you have little control over are getting a PNP nomination, as it is province reliant and employer reliant, getting an arranged employment in a senior management position, as again this is employer reliant, and lastly is getting old. I mean, we can fight aging, but we can't fight time. Now, there are only 2 factors within our ability to influence, and they are our education and language. However, for education, you can get the maximum of 150 points if you obtain a PhD or a doctorate degree.
What?
This is approximately a 7-year endeavor to get that score, meaning it will take a lot of time, money, and effort to get 150 points. And for that little, I say, ain't nobody got time for that. So finally, we're left with language. You can get a maximum direct score of 136 points for English as your first language under human capital factors. But take note, you can gain more indirect points for English under the skills transferability factor. It's a bit difficult to explain the breakdown for the indirect points since it makes a combination of your education, work experience, plus language skills. You can take a look at the CRS Score grid found on your screen and in the description box below for your reference. Main point here is that you can increase your CRS score in a short period of time, at a lower cost, and way less effort if you do well in your English proficiency test. And with that said, I think I have found the hack or the shortcut for the Express Entry program. Now, to prove to you the gravity of English in your immigration goals, let's take a look at my case for example. When I applied for Express Entry, this was my IELTS general test score. I got an 8.5 in listening, 7.5 in reading, 6.5 in writing, and an 8.5 in speaking. My English score alone got me a total of 122 points under human capital factors. And my total CRS score was 450 points. That means my English score directly contributed 27% to my overall CRS score. That's insane. 1/4 of my score came directly from speaking good English. And guys, I haven't even accounted for the points I got for English under the skills transferability factor, but that would certainly bump up my percentage by a lot more, roughly 30%. Imagine if I hadn't taken my English exam seriously or if I had done poorly in this area. It would have cost me my chance to get an ITA and eventually apply for permanent residency in Canada.
What?
So just looking at this percentage, English definitely played a big role and can be the difference maker in applying to your dream school in Canada or even getting permanent residency in Canada. So maybe your next question is, Rach, do you have any tips for me to improve my English? There are several ways to improve your English abilities. First method is to improve organically or through self-directed learning. What do I mean by this? Well, let's take it by category. For speaking, meet people outside of your ethnic bubble so that you're forced to communicate in English. It also opens your mind to a whole new way of expressing your thoughts and understanding Canadian jargon, eh? When you communicate, tell a story filled with details, examples, and say it with feelings. That way people can picture it as if they were there. Another example for speaking is to read materials out loud. I have fallen victim to this several times and had friends correct me for mispronouncing certain words. For example, in the Philippines, I used to say 1 hour instead of 1 hour. I also say I'm recording videos when really it should be recording videos. So yeah, I struggled with vowels and honestly, I was a bit embarrassed, but I learned to accept it because that's part of being bilingual and it's okay to make certain mistakes because there's room for improvement. Next stop, reading. For reading, I recommend reading a material that you thoroughly enjoy. Personally, I enjoy reading the IRCC website, as weird and boring as that sounds. But reading their website helped me structure my thoughts neatly and coherently, similar to the information you will find on their website. When I read, I underline keywords, I avoid skimming or skipping through parts. That way I see the full picture and have a better understanding of the process or whatever the material is about. Also, I read the material over and over again. And every day, I find that there's always something more to learn. I guess my knack for reading the IRCC website also contributed to me being able to DIY all of my immigration applications. And it even helped me grow this channel as I thoroughly love to read and research before presenting an idea to my viewers. For writing, I recommend you start writing simple thoughts or journaling. I usually jot down events that happened in each day in bullet form. When I write, I use simple and concise words. I try to avoid flowery or fancy words as that may be difficult to read and understand. Same way in an IELTS exam, just focus on communicating your ideas clearly and straight to the point. As for listening, this is mainly paying attention to what was said and following instructions. But sometimes it's easier said than done. There are small steps to get better, such as listening with intent to music, news, podcasts, videos, and the like. But ultimately, to see any improvement, You need to practice the IELTS listening questions that mirror the real test. Application is the best way to learn. And don't worry, I'll provide a link in the description box below where you can practice, so make sure to check that out. Second method to improve your English is through directed learning, preferably by an English teacher that is a native speaker. Let's face it, sometimes we can self-study, but there will be limitations. At this point, it's better to seek outside help from a professional. Someone that can take you through the process of focused learning to do particularly well in your IELTS exam. This is not my area of expertise, but luckily, I got to connect with two professionals that can assist you in this matter. With that, I'd like to introduce the IELTS Marshals. They are twin sisters, Jessica and Shannon, that are currently based in the US that have over 8 years of experience as certified IELTS teachers. They help students improve their IELTS test scores to 7 or above. They do this by providing online courses and one-on-one tutoring. The one that I personally like is their writing correction services that allows you to get video feedback on your written essays. The price for their services can be found here, but take note it may change in time, but this at least gives you an idea on their service rates. If you sign up for their email list, you'll get weekly emails with free guides and strategies to do well in your IELTS exam. I'm currently working on another video with them to cover the common mistakes made on the IELTS exam to be released at a later date, so stay tuned. But yeah, I just want to make this resource available to you, that way you have options. Anyway, let's now move on to my favorite part, the takeaways. Number 1, assimilate. Understand that you are in Canada and you should adapt and assimilate into the main culture. Learning English is one of them. It's not to take away from your background or identity, it's to supplement it. It's also a form of respect because Canadians are welcoming us into their country, and we should give the respect back by acknowledging their rules, customs, and traditions. Secondly, be strategic. As previously mentioned, I talked about the top 5 contributors to your CRS score. Among the 5, English is probably the quickest and easiest way to boost your CRS score on your own. With that said, prioritize an area that is within your ability to influence before focusing on areas that you have little control over. For example, I can control my ability to learn and improve English than I do in getting a PNP nomination or getting a job offer in a senior managerial position. But you know what? Life is full of surprises, so if you manage to do that first, well, good on you. Last but not least, focus on continuous improvement. If you're planning to stay in Canada long term, English will be mandatory. Learning English is a long process and it's not a one and done deal. You should start working on your English before coming to Canada and practice and improve your English when you get here. If you need further assistance, consider looking to outside resources such as taking English classes or get private tutoring like the IELTS Marshals. Beyond immigration, English is a way to adapt for life in Canada, so please use it as a lifelong learning process than a tool. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have for today. Hope this video is helpful in your journey to Canada. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Anyway, thank you again for watching, keep safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!